Okay, let's talk about jealousy. It's a powerful, messy human emotion, right? But what happens when you don't just feel it, but you actively, willingly invite it into your relationship? That's what we're diving into today, that super complex world of jealousy inside cuckold dynamics. If you've ever felt that intense push and pull, that mix of thrill and terror, well, this is for you. We're going to lay out a framework to help you turn that challenge into a real, genuine skill.
And this quote right here, it gets the absolute heart of the matter. You're in this because it's arousing. You chose it. And yet, the jealousy can feel like a tidal wave. I need you to hear this. That doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It's not a flaw in you or the dynamic. That paradox, that feeling of being turned on and terrified at the same time, it's not a bug, it's a core feature of the whole experience. So here's the big mindset shift you have to make. Stop thinking of jealousy as this monster you have to slay. It's not your enemy, it's information. Think of it like your brain's ancient alarm system, the one designed to protect the things you care about most. Except now, you're deliberately walking up and pressing the button. The goal isn't to silence the alarm or pretend it's not blaring, it's to learn how to listen to what it's telling you. To help you do that, we've broken this down into 4 parts. First, we're going to really understand the paradox of it all. Then, we'll get into a practical, in-the-moment playbook, what to actually do. After that, we'll learn how to tell the difference between healthy jealousy and the destructive kind. And finally, we'll talk about building the solid foundation you need for any of this to work long-term.
All right, first up, let's really get into why this kind of jealousy is just different. It doesn't play by the same rules as the jealousy you read about in most conventional relationship advice columns. It's a whole other ballgame. And this chart makes it crystal clear. See, traditional jealousy is all about an unwanted threat. Your instinct is fight or flight, and your goal is to make the threat go away. But over here, in this dynamic, the trigger is invited. Your response is this wild mix of arousal and fear living side by side. So your goal completely changes. It's not about eliminating the feeling, it's about managing the intensity.
And then there's this other key idea, compersion. You know that feeling of joy you get from seeing your partner happy? A lot of people think it's the opposite of jealousy, like it's some kind of antidote. It's not. It's much better to think of them as 2 different radio stations. You can have the jealousy station playing and at the exact same time have the compersion station playing. You can feel both at once. It's complex, but it's totally normal. Okay, enough theory, let's get super practical. This next section is your playbook. These are the concrete tools you can use to get through the entire arc of an experience from start to finish.
We can basically map this whole thing out across 3 critical phases: before, during, and after. Each stage comes with its own unique emotional flavor, its own set of challenges, and it requires its own strategies to navigate successfully.
Oh man, that anxiety before anything even happens can be brutal. So you've got to anchor yourself. Have a plan for how you'll check in, get lost in a hobby, something that takes all your focus. And this is so important, reconnect with your why. Actually write down why you want this. When your emotions are screaming, that why can be a total lifesaver. Okay, but what happens if you're right in the middle of it and you start to spiral? This right here, this is your emergency brake. It's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique. It literally yanks your brain out of that anxious future tripping and slams it back into your body, into the present moment. It interrupts the panic circuit. It's so simple and it is so powerful.
And this is absolutely key. After it's all over, your #1 job is reconnection and reassurance. Cuddling, holding hands, just being together. Your nervous system is screaming for a signal that your bond is safe and secure. The big, deep, analytical talk about what happened and how you felt, that has to wait. Seriously, give it at least 12, maybe 24 hours. A good conversation comes from calm, not from a place of high emotion.
Now we're moving into a really pivotal part of this. It's absolutely essential that you learn to tell the difference between the kind of jealousy that adds that hot, erotic edge and the kind that is just flat out destroying you and your relationship.
So, let's look at this chart. Healthy jealousy, yeah, it's intense, but it's contained. It actually adds to the experience. Destructive jealousy, though, that's a wildfire. It's all-consuming. It spills out and starts causing fights, leads to obsessive behaviors, and it makes it hard to even function in your day-to-day life. You have to use this table and be really, really honest with yourself about where you land.
And you have got to pay attention to these red flags. If you can't focus at work, if your overall happiness in the relationship is just tanking, If you find yourself doing compulsive stuff, like checking their phone 100 times a day, well, the jealousy has crossed a very important line. It's no longer a feature of the fantasy, it's a bug that's crashing your life.
Okay, for our last section, let's zoom all the way out. Because here's the truth. None of those in-the-moment tricks and tools are gonna work in the long run if the ground beneath your feet isn't solid. We have to talk about the foundation.
This is like your relationship health check. You have to ask these hard questions. Do you, at your core, trust your partner? Can you be totally vulnerable with each other? When you disagree, can you work through it, or does it just create more distance? This dynamic will amplify everything that's already there, the good and the bad.
Which brings us to what might be the single most important takeaway. This dynamic is an accelerant, not a medication. It cannot fix a relationship that's already in trouble. It is a massive stress test. A strong, secure, communicative partnership can actually be enhanced by it, but a weak one will almost certainly be destroyed.
So I want to leave you with this question to chew on. What if jealousy isn't an enemy that you have to defeat? What if it's actually a skill, something you can develop and get really good at? Because when you learn to navigate this level of complexity, you're not just managing a feeling, you are building some serious emotional sophistication. The ability to sit with discomfort, to hold two contradictory feelings at once, and to communicate with radical honesty. And that isn't just a skill for this dynamic, that's a skill for life.